All right, post-game podcast time, and no Jerry Recco, although he'll be back tomorrow. So I got one more day here with Rami. Welcome, Rami.
Oh, yeah. What's up?
Now, you filmed something today when I was, during the program, I was, doing my due diligence of doing a great job of screening calls.
Correct.
For whatever reason today, I had so many calls that fall under the category of, that's interesting for you, but the guy stuck in traffic listening to the radio is not going to care. And the one guy I was talking to at the moment you were filming me to put up for social media, a guy called up and he goes, "Hey, I just, there was one day a couple of years ago where Boomer, I was taking a shower and on the radio, Boomer was talking about Tom Seaver and Oasis." Okay.
Yeah, that's a good story for you.
I go, okay. He goes, and those are like my three favorite things. A Jets quarterback. I loved Tom Seaver, and I was going to see Oasis later that day.
Right.
I said, okay. He goes, yeah, I think it'd be a hilarious story. I go, what's hilarious about it? Oh, just, I go, I think that's interesting for you because you love those three things,
Right.
and they were all
happening at once.
But years later, now, what are they supposed to do with this?
And what prompted this call? Nothing.
Oh, I love that when they go, they have something random. And I go, why are we calling about this today? Well, I've been trying to get through. I'm like, no, you haven't. Because I don't have full phone lines for the most point because I shoot down 80% of the callers.
80,
so
90.
To say like, oh, I couldn't get through. No, you didn't try.
Yeah, exactly.
Now,
or you were afraid to or whatever reason.
Yeah. Now, the only time we really have full phone calls, I would say during the Knicks finals games.
Yep.
And then when something comes up that is not sports related.
Yes.
Like we did have a couple times today. I forget what the topics were. But like
the butt thing.
Where's Chris Berman's butt?
Yes.
Full phone lines. Yeah, there was something earlier.
Yep.
Similar thing. It was not real sports related. But and then the other callers, which I can't do, is I go, like they'll be talking about Chris Berman doesn't have a butt. And it's a full segment. The guy Clooney goes, yeah, I want to talk about this Yankee catcher situation. I go, they're not, they really like to take calls on what they're currently talking about. And they're not talking about the Yankees. Oh, what are they talking about? Chris Berman not having a butt. Oh, yeah, put me on. I could
talk about that.
No, that's going to be a terrible phone call.
I'll just talk about whatever they're talking about.
Yeah.
Which also clearly you're not listening.
Right.
So that's the other thing. Wait, so you're not listening to the show because what are they talking about? You should know. If you're calling into the radio station, you should already know what we're talking about.
And especially now this time of year where there's like different hosts have days off, it'll be like 2.5 hours into the show, a guy will call up and goes, I got a quarterback question for Boomer. Right. Oh, Boomer's not here today. He's not? No. Do you have the show?
Have you been listening for the last 2.5 hours?
And I decided, I think the reason why we get the callers like that is like in this day and age where you can't get a live person on the phone, you could always get someone here.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, if you want to call your bank, you're not getting somebody. You're getting multiple robots first. You try to call your doctor's office. Like, you just can't. Customer service, you're not getting. But you call here, I'm picking up.
Yep. That's I just heard this yesterday. I was listening to Bill Simmons' podcast, and he has this guy, Kevin Wildes. I think he's at Fox Sports possibly on, and he does this thing called half-baked ideas. And one of his half-baked ideas was that it's a bank that their only thing that's good about that bank, only human call and people answering the phone. Only humans answer the phone. And the first person that you talk to, their automatic response to whatever you say is, man, that's some BS. Because that's all we want to hear. We want someone to answer the phone, and we want someone to tell us, you're right, that does suck. You know what I mean? So he said that would be the entire premise of the bank would just be that you have a human person answering the phone, and they agree with whatever you just said. Which, by the way, if you get 90% of the call screeners around here, that's what they get. And then they run into you.
Yeah. Now, I ran into something where I had to call the New Jersey. It was either New Jersey Natural Gas or New Jersey Electricity.
Okay.
One of the ones. Or New Jersey Water. One of them I had to call. And I get this lovely woman with a Southern accent. And she was so pleasant. And I wanted to be angry, but she was so pleasant that I was nice. And I said to her, I go, where are you?
Yeah.
She goes, I'm in Texas. I go, you take calls for New Jersey
Yeah.
People from New Jersey are calling because they have a problem with their water, gas, and you handle those people all day long? Yes,
Yeah.
I do. I was like, wow, what a great idea because you're the very pleasant. You're not going to fight with people. She was just very nice. I think if companies did move back to some live person answering the phone, that could work.
I mean, it would be so helpful. Like, how many times am I arguing with someone, even if I do get a human, by the time I get a human, someone who doesn't speak the language and is just reading off a script?
Yes, reading
Uh,
the
that's
screen.
very frustrating. I can tell for you that's frustrating. No, 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 no. You're not listening to me.
Yeah.
And then I keep saying, like, are you not understanding what I'm saying or are you ignoring what I'm saying? And that's what gets me frustrated. I had the same experience with it was just a regular guy. And I forget which company it was. I think it was Verizon. They knocked, they were doing construction on my apartment complex and they cut the Verizon wire somehow for the internet, for the home internet. And the Verizon guy who I called was just like, yeah, dude, this sucks. He was a regular American dude, just like, we know what happened. You're not the first person who called. We're trying to fix it. We have multiple trucks out there. We're going to give you some money off of your next bill. We don't, and I was just like, this, and the situation didn't improve at all. He didn't give me a timeline on when it was going to improve. It was just having a normal conversation with a human, and I immediately felt like better about it. And I
Yeah.
didn't get angry. I didn't yell at him. He's like, call back anytime, whatever you need, dude. We got you. I was just like, that's awesome. Like
Totally, dude.
that should be, but that shouldn't be that difficult.
Yeah.
That should like that should be expected.
Yeah. Verizon had a problem the other day. I couldn't make phone calls.
Yeah, T-Mobile had that also last. It was on my birthday actually. So it was a couple Mondays ago.
Yeah.
That
This one was just, I think, the end of last week.
T-Mobile was for 4 hours out like in multiple places across the country.
Yeah.
And you couldn't make phone calls, you couldn't get it on the internet, nothing. No service at all.
No, I went to Twitter to see. I just typed in Verizon and then everything came up.
Yep.
That's when you
I
know
did the
it's
same
not
thing.
you, right? Then you
Right.
go, okay, it's not me.
Right, but I was out, so I had to, like, go into, like, the restaurant, ask them for their Wi-Fi password so I could go on Twitter and see if it was, what was going on, and yeah, there was a T-Mobile outage, but I couldn't text anyone, couldn't get through to anyone, and I'm like, "This is weird." I wasn't sure how I was gonna get home. They're like, I
Yeah.
used my GPS. I wasn't in a place that I'm from. It's not like
Oh,
here to work, but
the
how am I gonna get
GPS,
home? Like, I don't have a GPS. Now my car happens to have, like, the GPS that
but no
works.
traffic,
Yeah,
probably.
right, but that's just routing yourself, but
Right.
I didn't know where I was. It wasn't a place that I was familiar with, so I was like, "I don't know how to go home," like, yeah, 4 hours.
Yeah, I do wonder how we used to get places without
MapQuest.
GPS, but even before
Uh,
MapQuest. So there was something, yeah, MapQuest, if you
you
knew in
printed out
advance
the
you're going, you
instructions,
print it
yep.
out, you follow along.
Yes.
But if you didn't have, or prior to MapQuest, like you had to get directions from somebody who was there.
Yeah,
You'd be
or
like, take I-95 to exit 6. You're going to make a left at the Exxon, go down 2 lights. I think that road is Billy Street.
yeah.
You're going to hook a right. Like it was
I can't even
confusing.
imagine my parents. I mean, growing up, we spent our summers in Maryland down at my grandparents'. The drive from New Jersey, where we lived, to Silver Spring without any like, we probably didn't like, it was the late 90s, early 2000s. I don't know if MapQuest existed yet. Those drives must have been crazy. That's a 4-hour drive,
Yeah.
3.5, 4 hours. Like, how is that? Like, how are you doing that in those days?
Well, if you used to belong to AAA, which now people use just for like if your car breaks down on the
Right.
side of the
Yeah.
road. AAA, you would be able to go and they would make these triptychs, they were called. Do
Okay.
you ever see one of those?
No.
So this was you would sit down with somebody and
Yep.
say, I'm going to Silver Springs, Maryland.
Yep.
And they'd go, okay. And they'd take out they'd create a booklet for you that flipped pages. It was like a map that
Yeah.
flipped pages. And they would highlight the route you're supposed to
It's
take.
unbelievable.
And then you'd get that book and go on your way. Be like, okay, now I know how to get to
I
Maryland.
wonder if I have to ask my parents how they did that drive. It must
Yeah.
have been something like that, right?
Or they just pick the most major roads and never veer off it. Like if you hit traffic, there's no other option.
Right. So you drive down I-95, eventually you're going to hit the signs for, but still you have to get on from where we live. You have to get on to the turnpike, and right. Like,
Yeah.
you do have to get on the highway at some point. So it's not just, it's getting to the highway too. And okay, so that was a drive they did often, but what about, my parents in the late 80s when they're going off to college, and my mother from Maryland went to college in New York? You think she, like, how did she do that drive the first time, right?
She had to go to, and like Eddie used to love these atlases.
Yeah.
I
He
think
probably
was that
still uses
yeah,
them.
like where
Yeah.
you could map out where you wanted to go
Yeah.
in your car that way.
Yeah.
I
People used
guess
to
like
keep
for
like
those,
a map in their glove compartment.
it was probably actually easier to go long distances
That's true.
that traveled highways versus find your new doctor's office. Be like,
Right.
where is that?
Right. Exactly.
Or you don't know the nooks and crannies of
Right.
the
Right. Because a
strip
shorter drive,
mall.
you're making more turns and more,
Yes.
yes, more navigation
Yes.
usually rather than a long drive where you're just going 3
Yeah.
hours straight. Which, by the way, so I just did the drive from Chicago to Michigan to Detroit last week, or close to Detroit. It's like just under 4 hours it took me, but 280 miles straight on the same highway with nothingness. The middle of the country has nothing.
Yeah.
It is flat. There's just forest and truckers and
Cornfields.
cornfields, and there's not even rest stops on the highway. It's just the exits have a motel, a gas station, and a couple fast food places, and that's it for miles. And then a giant casino in middle. Like there was one giant casino hotel, and it's just I thought I was in that TV show Last Man on Earth. Like you can't really see the oncoming traffic, so it's just two lanes going the same direction. 90% of it is truckers, and then me just trying to navigate through all, and the speed limit's like 85 miles an hour. So you're just speeding down there, and it's crazy. It's just that, and no lights, just vast
And
nothingness.
you have your maps on the whole time?
No, so the problem is if I have it on, I'm going to keep looking at it and staring at it and wanting the time to go down. So I knew I was going straight. So I just turned it off, and then to see how much time I cut down, if any. And you'd think that if you're going 90 miles an hour for a 200-mile stretch, you're going to cut some of the time down. I cut it down by like 15 minutes by the end of the drive. I was like, how? How did it not cut down more time? I didn't sit in traffic at all at any point. There was like a couple areas where I had to get around two trucks, so I had to slow down a little bit.
So it took you 15 minutes longer than you thought it would?
No, it took 15 minutes shorter than it originally had
Oh,
said.
okay.
But like over the course of 4 hours, I'd expect, especially when you're driving straight at that speed, I'd expect to cut more than just 15 minutes. That's what I would have thought. I stopped for gas once and got a drink when I stopped for gas.
I always wonder how
That was it.
people do in the summer. So in the summer, if you're doing a long road trip, let's say you're going to drive for 8 hours, 6 to 8 hours,
Mhm.
and people plug their phones in, and it's the dead of summer, and some people have their phone
Mounted.
yeah, like that phone starts cooking,
Yes.
and then it doesn't want to charge,
Yep.
and now you're 4 hours into an 8-hour trip. How do you keep
Right.
that up?
Yeah, I don't know. You have to figure out a way that your phone is not in a place where the sun is beating down on it, because
Yeah.
it'll just say, "Hey, your phone's not charging anymore."
Yeah.
And then sometimes the phone will not turn off, but gets that screen where it just says phone needs to cool down, and it's unusable. Like there's no
Yeah.
you can't do anything on
I
it.
guess you got to get to a point where, okay, so you're going along, then you pull onto a highway and it says, take this for 212 miles.
You
Then
just
you just take
Grab
it
the
off.
phone, throw it away from it, put it in
Power
the
it
glove
down,
compartment.
let it
Yeah.
relax a little bit.
Throw some ice on it.
Yeah. And then put it back up when you get,
give it a break.
where you're getting closer where
Yeah.
you're supposed to be. I have a question for you about TikTok/YouTube.
Okay.
So I am not on TikTok,
Mhm.
but I like YouTube.
Right.
And I tend to like some of these YouTubers that pick a topic and then they get a bunch of TikTok clips about that topic that they then comment on.
Correct.
So I don't follow a ton of people on YouTube, but of the not ton of people I follow, 3 of them are not related to each other, but they always seem to do the same topic where they're reacting to TikTok clips under the same subject matter.
What's the subject matter?
So, for example, one of the subject matters might be insane car payments people have. Okay.
And all 3 of them will do that.
Like the same week.
That's interesting.
So that's a popular one, like insane car payments.
But you're saying these are people who do various different topics.
Yes.
But when they do a topic, all of them do that topic within the same time period.
It seems like it. Yeah.
Well, a big thing, and I hate this about the internet these days, is trends now.
Yes.
And you talk about this all the time with Twitter or X, that if something is trending or like, then everyone just imitates it. Everyone just copies whatever that trend is. And you see it on Twitter where someone will have one tweet that goes viral, and then people basically using the exact same wording, 5 different accounts will tweet out the exact same thing. Like, if there's a funny joke about Chris Berman, every single person has made the exact same joke
Right.
in like, almost the same words. So maybe that's what's happening there too, where this is a trending topic now. So if they're doing it, I'm going to do it. And they're all just copying off each other because that's kind of become the model on TikTok is what's going to go viral is whatever you fit into the trend. And I hate that. Like I try not to do that, but at the same time, if you're someone who your entire game is just to go viral and get as many views as possible, shouldn't you be trying to do whatever is trending and just copy everyone else?
So do you think it's the YouTube people seeing a topic trending on TikTok and then grabbing those clips and commenting on them? Or do you think people on YouTube are seeing other people on YouTube commenting on, let's say, people's credit card debt and doing it that way?
I think it's a combination of both because if it was just things that were trending on TikTok, there's so many different things trending on TikTok. So for them to all land on the same topic in
Yeah.
the same week, that wouldn't be just because it's trending on TikTok. Because what's trending on your TikTok, and I was telling you this during the show today off the air, that my algorithm is so pointed to me. Like it's crazy how good the algorithm is. That it was a couple driving to review a restaurant in New Jersey, but they had WFAN on in the background. And the girl goes, "Can you just turn that off? WFAN is the bane of my existence," in middle of the video. And that was the only part that was WFAN related. She didn't put WFAN in the hashtags, nothing. It was just a video of them reviewing a food restaurant. But while they were on the way in the car, she mentions WFN, and that video somehow got fed to me. And I thought it was hilarious. And I just commented, like, "Thanks for listening." You know what I mean? Like something like that. But that's how good the algorithm is. So you're going to get people who are struggling to pay credit card debt. I'm going to get that video. So we're all going to get different things. So it would be hard for me to believe that these three people are all having the same exact algorithm. So I think it's more the latter where they're looking at trending topics on TikTok as a whole to attack, but then they're looking at each other and they're just copying one another.
Yeah,
Has to be.
because a lot of them even have the same TikTok videos in their YouTube video.
Well, that makes sense because let's say I wanted to attack a topic and I just went to TikTok and I typed in that topic in the search bar. The top trending videos from that topic are going to come up. Now, yes, they're probably going to be the ones that are most relevant to me, but still the top trending ones are going to be the top trending videos. So they're probably grabbing the ones with the most views or have gone the most popular, gone the most viral. So that makes sense that they would have a lot of the same overlap.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what I think.
Yeah. It's just so weird because
Yeah, I hate the copycat thing with everything now, but it feels like it's just like a cheat code on how like they have all these stupid accounts on social media. Here's how you grow your account. This is the right way, which I think like those people are only getting views because people are desperate to learn
yeah.
how to grow their accounts. Those people wouldn't know how to grow an account if they didn't have those people who are desperate looking at their videos. You know what I mean? Like you're using the fact that people are desperate to grow their accounts to grow your own account. Here's how you grow your account. You do XYZ. That doesn't actually work. You don't know if it works. You want to know how to grow your account? Tell other people how to grow their accounts. Those always work because
Hmm.
everyone's desperate to go viral.
Yeah. But for what do they get out of it though? Like unless you're monetizing it.
Right. And that's where and we talked about like the micro influencers that are getting brand deals to get to the level from nothing to now I'm selling products or I get sponsorships or TikTok, the platform itself is paying me. Like it's so far fetched. The, like you have to get hundreds of thousands of views and millions of views over time to get to that point. So I don't know why, but everyone's trying. I guess it's just like the easiest. Well, I could go viral. I could get millions of views. I don't know. For me, I use it more as like I'd like to get as many views as possible, but I'm using it more to try and promote myself, like try and grow who I am. This is what I'm doing. I want people who are in the industry to see it. I want to have some sort of portfolio out there. So those sports takes that you hate when I hold up the camera and do a sports take, that's more to try and build a portfolio of, hey, this is something that I do. This is the industry I'm in. I have to everyone in this industry these days has to kind of build their own brand. So I talk about the show. I talk about different things going on the show. I post the behind the scenes of you and Boomer. those are things that are happening so that kind of build my brand.
And how do you decide? Because now you are posting on the morning show, the Boomer and Geo morning show, WFAN Twitter account.
Correct.
How do you decide when you have something that you're going to post it there or to your personal account?
If it's show related, but it's not about me, then I'll usually post it there. So a good example was that video today. It had nothing to do with me. It had to do with you and Boomer arguing with a caller, and then Boomer yelling at you about the food. He was in the middle of his read, and he's in the talk back. The food's here, which was funny. And you didn't even hear him because you were arguing with the caller well before I started taking that video.
Yeah.
And which was funny also that like I got the tail end of it, but you were arguing. So that to me is a show related item, right? So that's going on the show page. Whereas yesterday I was doing a selfie video talking about how I spilled coffee on myself and I'm wearing an Odyssey beach house t-shirt with Mumford and Sons on it. And that's kind of show related, but it's about me. I don't want to make myself like I feel like, and we talked about this off the air yesterday, I'm not the show. I understand that. Like I know where I stand. Like I don't want the shows to be about me. I'm someone who works on the show, and I appreciate that. But I am not someone who wants to like put myself out there too much. I don't want there to be any like burnout with people. Like I'm in everyone's faces about everything. I kind of want to blend in a little bit, but obviously bring my own flavor to it and be myself. So anything that's kind of me related, I post on my own social media. And then people will be like, "Oh, you make everything about yourself." Yeah, this is my social media. But if it's show related, then sometimes I'll go back and forth with myself from the show account, which is
I used to love
fun.
to do that.
It's so much fun.
It's fun because if there's certain people that they knew for the long time I ran that account.
Yeah.
So then I would argue on my actual personal account with the show account, even though I was running both of them.
Yeah.
It was fun to do.
So what was interesting, there was one with, I posted the video that Kat made of Boomer at, sympathy grifting over him not getting a call from Gio during his vacation.
When he was not
feeling well. So I posted it from the show account with, "Hey, Boom, the Gen Z is rubbing off on Boomer." And then I quote tweeted from my own account with like the eyes emoji, like, "Oh, look, I'm rubbing off on Boomer." And then I replied from the morning show account, "Not everything's about you. I was referring to Matthew Schaefer."
Right.
It's just funny.
Yeah. You got to, you're engaging with your own self.
Yeah, I'm having
on
fun.
Multiple accounts.
Yes.
All right, let's do what do we do next? Warm-up show. I did that with CeeLo.
Yeah.
Now, tomorrow, Jerry Recco's back.
Yeah.
So I'll have Jerry for the warm-up and the post-game
you'll
podcast.
See if you could throw any of these topics you've been throwing at CeeLo at Jerry.
No, I don't know.
Move on.
We'll see how it goes. I don't know what will bring us. I don't know till later this afternoon when I go through some of the sports stories, and then in the morning,
sports adjacent stories.
I know if I have some good sports adjacent stories by like 6 p.m., I'm like, oh, okay, this is good.
Yeah, exactly.
And I don't have to look for them in the morning.
I got a lot of response to the religious stuff yesterday, which obviously gets people going. So I might have to make a TikTok about that now.
Yeah, I heard from Dove Kramer who reached out.
We both heard from Dove.
In a positive way.
Exactly.
He was happy to hear us discussing.
Yep.
Although he did say to me, if you need help on topics that Rami doesn't know anything about,
so he's kind of
please reach out to me. It's kind of like a little bit of a dig.
Jab. Yeah. Rami doesn't know everything about this stuff.
Yeah, he doesn't know everything.
I feel like I do know a lot, but I also have opinions that probably most people who identify as Orthodox Jews wouldn't agree with.
I see.
I'll say that.
All right. Let's do the warm-up program. And then we'll be back here tomorrow at 5 a.m. on WFAN Radio.